Hey guys, it's your girl Lisa with Real Movie Lovers. And guess what time it is? Oh yeah, that's right. It's time for our remake reboot news of the week. Noah Centineo attached to play Rambo in prequel movie John Rambo. So first off, I consider prequels the same as kind of remakes and reboots, but just probably a little bit more creative because you're trying to come at it with a different angle. You're not telling the exact same story, but still within the same lineage of the property. So what's making the list? Now, Rambo, for those that don't know, is a whole film series that is based on a book by David Morrell. He first wrote the 1972 novel First Blood. And it covers a troubled Vietnam War veteran who is also a former U.S. Army Special Forces soldier. And he's an expert in weapons, like he knows how to combat guerrilla warfare. And he basically has to go to town with some local sheriff, I think it is, and make some things happen. You know, like the Wild Wild West, the lone man, the hero guy, the trope, if you will.
It's over, Johnny. It's over. Nothing is over. Nothing.
This franchise starred Sylvester Stallone, okay, Rocky himself. And it went on for 5 movies. Now, there were only 3 core books, which is First Blood Part 2, and Rambo 3. And the movies kind of followed the formula of the books, so to speak. But then they kind of went off and did their own thing. With the 4th movie, which was just called Rambo. And then the last one that Sylvester did back in 2019 was Rambo First Blood. No, Last Blood. Yeah, Last Blood. I mean, you start with First Blood, now you got Last Blood. It all makes sense, consecutively speaking. So the thing about it is that Rambo, Sylvester Stallone is willingly handing off the role to young Noah. He is ushering in the next generation, which is something they kind of, in a way, sort of tried to do with Harrison Ford and Shia LaBeouf and Indiana Jones and was it the Skull Island? Is that what it was? The skeleton, the crystal skulls. And it just didn't work out too well. It wasn't well received. And I don't just mean like Shia LaBeouf. I mean the movie. And in the very end, it was almost like a gotcha. Because they introduced Shia LaBeouf as his son he never knew that he had. They're repairing that relationship. And while Harrison Ford is walking down the aisle, finally getting married, settling down, the hat flies through the aisle and Shia reaches to grab it. But Harrison Ford, aka Indiana Jones, snatched it up so fast, he's like, nah. Nice try. I'm not retired yet. So, and then of course we had the 5th movie years later, Dial of Destiny, which I still haven't seen. And I'll be honest with you, I'm probably not going to see it. For me, the Indiana Jones series ended perfectly with The Last Crusade. I mean, it was called The Last Crusade. And it was between him and Sean Connery. And that whole dynamic, that was, to me, the best Indiana Jones movie in the whole franchise. And that was the 3rd movie. So, as rare as it is for the 2nd movie in the franchise to be better than the 1st, Terminator 2, this was even more rare because the 3rd movie was better than all 3. Well, it was better than the first 2. And of course, I have some people who may disagree because they really love the first one or the second one, but they're wrong. Okay, getting back to Rambo. Shoop. See how I just go off on tangents? It just happens so fast, people. Okay, so In essence, Rambo is basically the reluctant hero. You know, "Oh, I just want a quiet life, just want to do what I do." And then he always gets roped into saving somebody's people, whether it's his former boss or captain or whatever. He's got to go to Afghanistan, or he's trying to help out some villagers. Rambo just wants to eat, sleep, and go home. But, he never gets to. So let's talk a little bit more about Noah Centineo, the upcoming star. Now, for some of you, you may know him from The Fosters, which was a TV show. But for me, he first got on my radar on the Netflix romantic comedy, young coming of age story, whatever, To All the Boys I've Ever Loved. Or is it To All the Boys I've Loved Before? I always get the title a little mixed up. That was such a cute movie. It was him. He starred with Lana Condor, a teenage girl who she writes secret love letters to her crushes over the years, and then somehow those letters get out, and he was one of the crushes, and it becomes a whole thing where they pretend to be together to make other people jealous, and then real feelings surface. So it within itself, it's a trope that you've seen before, but the way that it's done, these specific characters, the setting, the wardrobe, the design, the story, the comedy, it is so well done. There's even culture in there. Like, it is very nice. It is one of my favorites. Let's fake it till we make it type of movies about pretending to be in relationships. I think it's one of the better done ones, honestly, or the best one. And then he started to kind of get into more Netflix movies, because at that one there was 3 movies. So it started with To All the Boys I've Loved Before, which is also based on another book series. So you guys see the pattern here? There's a lot more books that have been turned into movies than we realize. I'm not sure how much further that trend will go, since we've got, AI writing books now, but whatever, I'll shut up. So, and that whole series is fun. So it was that one, and then it was To All the Boys, P.S. I Still Love You, where they're still together, but now it's another boy that came in from the past that, she had feelings for. And then it was To All the Boys, Always and Forever. Like, this specific 3 film series follows these 2 characters, and it's rare, and I enjoy it, and I love their love story. I know they're acting, but I love it so much. They do such a good job that it makes me wish they were together for real. And then he went on to do more Netflix romantic comedies like The Perfect Date, Sierra Burgess is a Loser, where he started to play similar characters, the hot, unattainable guy, or the hot guy with a heart of gold, I should say, more specifically. But then his star started to get bigger, and he started kind of veering off into other projects that were not quite romantic comedies, like he was in the Black Adam movie. Yes, the one with The Rock. Yes, that one. He did The Recruit, which was a TV series. I think that was also Netflix. So he's a Netflix darling. He's a Netflix darling for sure. And I think that one was more action, more packed, and then warfare. So he is kind of expanding beyond the romantic comedy genre, which is good, because you don't, unless they want to, most of the time actors like to kind of branch out and do different things. So as much as I love watching him in romantic comedies and teen comedies, where there's that charm, there's that heart. 1, he's getting older. You can't play a teenager forever. And 2, there is much more to explore than just romantic comedies. I'd actually like to see how he does in a horror movie, because horror movies are always fun. For this new iteration of Rambo, we are going to be checking him out in his earlier years. He is a Vietnam vet, so I'm guessing that they might look into, I feel like it would have to be before the Vietnam War, unless they're trying to actually cover the Vietnam War, which there have been a ton of movies about Vietnam, obviously, Platoon, Full Metal Jacket, Apocalypse Now, which honestly, I sat down and watched all three in one sitting. And I think I watched it kind of in the order that it was supposed to be. So I think I watched Full Metal Jacket first. Is that the one? Yeah, which talks about basic training and then going off to war. Then I watched Platoon, where you're in the war, and then Full Metal Jacket. I'm sorry, and then Apocalypse Now, where you're seasoned and you're kind of went off the reservation. It's just, this was for like a college project that I did, but it was very. I mean, all three of those movies are excellent movies, excellent. And if you haven't seen them, and you're not sensitive to the subject matter of like war and all that, I recommend you watching these movies. And again, if you want to watch them kind of in order of the journey, now they're unrelated. We're not following the same story, but the setting is kind of at different stages, like I said. So Full Metal Jacket, I believe, is the one where we follow the first half of the movie, or a good part of the movie is boot camp. And we have Platoon, which they're in it. And then again, Apocalypse Now. Poof, very good. So I don't know. I don't think we're following him in the Vietnam War. I don't know if that movie would resonate today too much. So I'm thinking it's more or less maybe following him after his training, or right before his training, or even when he's become a drifter. But the thing is, Noah seems so, well, you know what? I was gonna say young, but have you seen him with the full beard? Beards age you in a good way. I'm thinking that might be the way they're going, where they're following him as a drifter, because as a drifter, he was homeless for a minute before they contacted him. And this is after he had, went to war and all that other stuff. Maybe he's drifting around helping people. Maybe it's like a Jack Reacher situation. I'm just saying, possibility. And we're following like one major story. Maybe he drifts into a town and he helps people in that town or something. And maybe the end of that movie is when he gets approached to do First Blood, that first mission or whatever. However it goes. I can't remember. But anyway, I don't recall how many of those Rambo movies I've seen, to be honest with you guys. I know I've seen at least 3. And not to mention that Charlie Sheen, they did like a parody of Rambo in Hot Shots Part 2. That was freaking hilarious. Now, I mean, if you didn't grow up in that era, some of those jokes might go over your head, like the Energizer Bunny that keeps going. That one was hilarious. Yeah, the whole movie is hilarious. But they parody like Rambo, big time. But it's hilarious. I think I'm gonna go watch it. Like Hot Shots was funny, and then Hot Shots Part 2 I think was even funnier to me. Anyway, so that's kind of where we're at with this. I am a fan of Noah the actor. Now, I haven't seen a lot of his action stuff. I've only seen him in romantic comedies, to be perfectly honest. I haven't watched The Recruit. I haven't watched Warfare. I barely remember Black Adam, to be honest with you. And he wasn't really the main actor, but yeah, so I don't know if I'll like him as an action star, so I gotta kind of check this stuff out. But I am still interested in this prequel, which at least it's more original than just doing a whole hard-on remake. So, am I alone though? Are you guys into this? Because Sylvester Stallone, he's up there. He can't take up the matter anymore. Like, I mean, if it was, what's he gonna do? Protect the senior citizens in the nursing home? Okay, that was a mean joke. I'm sorry. I am a Sylvester Stallone fan, but he also is up there in age, and that's too much on his body to do all that action. So, anyway, let me know if you guys are with it. If you're interested in this, what are your feelings on it? Do you want to see this? Have you seen the Rambo movies? Any of them? Are you a Rambo fan? Are you a Sylvester Stallone fan? Are you a Noah fan? And if you haven't seen To All the Boys I've Loved Before, why not? It's so good. Especially, listen, if you like romantic comedies or love stories or teen romantic comedies or whatever, you're going to love To All the Boys I've Loved Before. I promise. I promise. All right, you can come for me if I'm wrong. All right. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today and checking out my video. I appreciate the support. And if you liked what you saw, feel free to like the video. And if you're feeling my channel, hit that subscribe button and get notified with the little bell. So whenever I drop something new, you're here to check it out. I want to give a huge shout out to my top tier Patreon members, Von Kurt and Thelma. Thank you guys so much for all your support. And if you guys are looking to join my Patreon, check me out at NXG Global Productions. And hit me up on Instagram and TikTok. Links are in the description. See you guys in the next video. Bye.